Man, I just love that intro, bro. I'm telling you. All right, guys. Hello and welcome back. Guess who's back? The fellas. Yes, we are back in town. Mr. TNTBS, CJ Jones, with the co-host, the funny man himself, Mr. Duane Stinson.
What up? What up?
Yes, sir. Listen, guys. I know it's been a while since we've done our dynamic duo take on reactions to videos. This one is sort of fresh and hot and off the press. It happened last week right here in our very backyard, in our hometown, me and Mr. Duane's hometown, Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up. When it was brought to my attention, I was actually being a co-host myself on a show called Head to Head with Brian Parker. There, I'm a panelist, and whenever this was brought to my attention, I was thinking, man, nah, this can't be happening. Not here in Charlotte, but nevertheless, it is what it is at the end of the day, guys. And like how we say right here on Elephant Exposed, if you're wrong, you're wrong, and if you're right, you're right. And in this particular case, we're going to go ahead and break this thing on down. Okay. So let's go ahead and just jump on into it. What you think, my brother?
Let's roll it. Get the people what they waiting for.
Police department just confirmed the woman who was arrested in a now viral video was hit in the face by one of its officers. Thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Siobhan Bryant.
And I'm Molly Grantham. We're glad you're here. So here's the video. It shows a Charlotte-Mecklenburg police officer striking the woman more than a dozen times in the leg.
Christina Pierre also suffered a bruise on the side of her face. You see it here. Yesterday, WBTV's chief investigative reporter Nick Oxner asked CMPD Chief Johnny Jennings where that bruise came from. And in the past 30 minutes, we finally got an answer.
Nick is here with the latest details. Nick, you also spoke with an eyewitness about what happened.
Yeah, Molly, Siobhan, that new information confirming the officer punched Christina Pierre in the face in response to what CMPD says was Pierre punching the officer first. It comes after I spent all afternoon questioning CMPD again.
He stressed that all afternoon really hard, didn't he?
Eyewitness named counter and chose to speak out to detail what happened on the condition we not use her face and we only use her first name. Donna tells me she was sitting in her car in the parking lot of the Bojangles eating lunch right next to the bus stop where Pierre, her fiance, were sitting. CMPD has said officers approached the two on the suspicion they were smoking marijuana, and that's when the violent encounter started. This viral video posted to social media shows what happened towards the end of the encounter. That CMPD officer hitting Pierre in the legs more than a dozen times. But it doesn't explain how she got these bruises on her face. It's a question that police, until just 30 minutes ago, had said they were unable to answer. Here's what Donna told me she saw.
He balled his fist up, he drew back, and he punched her like she was a man. He punched her in the side of her face, and she hit the ground.
So what was going through your mind, though, as you're watching?
So a one-hit quitter.
God, what is happening? Believe this. She's a woman.
What hasn't been explained by CMPD, and what isn't in the video, is how her face got injured in that incident.
There was a struggle with a single officer that occurred before his backup did arrive. We think that if those abrasion or bruising on her face occurred, it would have occurred during that struggle.
And again, you just heard my question to CMPD Chief Johnny Jennings yesterday and his answer yesterday. Now, just 30 minutes ago, CMPD again confirming that their officer did hit Christina Pierre in the face in response to what they say was her assaulting him first. In their statement tonight, CMPD also says officers are allowed to use reasonable force to defend themselves, but the new statement stops short of saying explicitly whether that punch was within policy. Now, also, a court hearing on whether to release the body camera video of this violent encounter, because remember, it's secret under state law, is now scheduled to be heard by a judge November 30th. Back to you.
A lot of people want to.
Okay. So let's go ahead and put a pause in here, my brother. What do we think about the news coverage here, by the way? And by the way, this is our local channel, WBTV News, right here in Charlotte. The news anchor, by the way, the guy that's standing by the breaking news, he was a little dramatic with the whole "I've been on this stuff all day," but tell me what you think about this overall so far.
It sounds like a cover up to me because the footage that I saw,
Yeah,
he was giving her the business. He was kneeing her, looked like he was kneeing her in the face, and looked like he punched her in the face several times. That would explain why it looked like the whole side of her face being ran over by a Mack truck. They talking about, oh, they trying to figure out what happened to the side of her face. We know what happened to the side of her face because, you know, and then it was at least 4 officers trying to subdue her. This was a 120-something pound woman. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
And so, you know that wasn't even called for. You know, and then he talking about she hit him first. You know, it's got to be, like you said, reasonable force. I mean, you can't handle a little 100-something pound girl. And then why are we still messing with people for smoking marijuana? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you gotta, like you said, that's just like police chases. They already said, you know, that's you're not supposed to do that because, you know, I mean, just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, have common sense sometimes. And then my last point would be, what's up with the fact that the body cam is secret now? Did you hear what he said? He was saying that the body cam.
I do have an explanation for that one. I don't even know why he even used that term secret because that's not a secret. So I do have a little bit more to reveal to share with our followers this evening about that. I'm gonna play this clip because like you said, the clip that went viral, that was shown from a personal phone camera.
Right.
Now we're going to see it from a different camera. It's going to have audio. The video is going to be clearer. You're going to be able to hear things a little differently. Let's see what you think about this one here, okay?
Okay, I might not have seen this one.
More information, here's a video.
Now why he kicking her? He mean that lady like that? Why is he pushing doing that? What the No. And nobody backing up.
There you go, right?
Ground. Don't kill her around. Kicking that girl. That's bad. And she just got out the room like they said. That's
So sad. Put up a screenshot of this attack.
So, was that a little better?
Yeah, that's basically the one I saw. But I will say I'm glad to see that even though nobody physically stopped it, I'm glad to see that you know, people starting to wake up and intervene in this kind of stuff, you know.
Duty to intervene. And that's not only a police officer thing, that should be a human thing. I also love how you very it was very observational for you to actually bring up something I think is extremely important, which was the probable cause to even how this even came to be. This call to service came to be. Whenever police officers are not responding to an emergency, it's called a call to service. Doesn't mean that you necessarily are going to come across a crime, criminal behavior, or any of those things. Police officers are public servants. They are a servant to the public. And so it is their job, even if nothing is found, for them to go out, take a look at stuff, investigate it. It is their job to be nosy enough. However, things can turn sour. And in this case, it really, really did. I'm not going to play the whole entire clip of Indisputed, because there's one more video I want to get in here, and then you and I can really start to break these down. And I really appreciate your input and your insight on these things, because personally, like I said, by me even being a man that has worn the badge, I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be in front of the badge. I know what it feels like to be behind the badge.
That's why this show works so good. It's like I'm in layman's terms, and you're the other perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like I can only tell you what a civilian's thinking. You a civilian right now, but you also have worn the badge. So you can sometimes, offset what I say and say, well, wait a minute, this is, so I'm gonna be interested to hear your perspective on, should that have even happened? So we'll go ahead to the video, but then after that, we'll see what you have to say about, the arrest even,
Yeah.
And also the responsibility of civilians and people.
Oh,
do we comply at all times? Like, some things can be eliminated by, I guess sometimes the tone, and sometimes it's, there's a lot of variables that go into it. But let's, we'll watch your video and then we'll come back.
Yeah, definitely. So what I'm looking for now is, I want to say it's Queen City News, because they were the ones that actually did an update for today, as far as them saying what it was. I believe I found it. So let me go ahead and bring this up. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and do share screen one more time, brother. And here we go.
I'm the attorney for a woman seen in a controversial arrest video is getting a look at 20 different police body camera videos of the incident. The arrest in question happened Monday afternoon at a bus stop on West Arrowwood Road. Queen City News reporter Casey Jones explains what the attorney says she saw and when the video could be released to the public.
There are at least 20 different body camera videos showing Christina Pierre's arrest. Police admit that an officer punched Pierre in the face, but they say that was self-defense. Now an internal affairs team is working to put together the facts, and a legal team representing Pierre is working to do the same. Christina Pierre, Anthony Lee, and Lauren Newton walked into CMPD headquarters Friday morning to watch 20 different body camera angles of Pierre's arrest.
What you see is essentially what we already know, that the first officer grabbed Tony's arm and then she asked, what's going on? What are you doing? It's exactly what the eyewitness described, that she held up what appears to be a cigarillo of something that is a legal substance and is repeatedly saying, I bought this legally from a smoke shop and I'm not doing anything.
Newton says the body camera video shows officers using excessive force to arrest her client. Newton questions the actions of two officers. Officer Vincent Pistone, seen on camera serving compliance strikes, has been reassigned to another part of the department. The other officer who hit Pierre in the face has not been named.
If the second officer who delivered the 17 blows has already been reassigned, the first officer.
Did you catch that, my brother? Do we need to run that back?
17 blows?
No. It was, see, when I first caught this, I thought the officer or that and see, this is why we need to wait and take sensation out of all these videos sometimes, because now I just caught that it was two officers. One officer was hitting her in what we call like the common peroneal, which is a justifiable place to deliver strikes to get someone to comply. But I'm gonna break that down too right after we look at this. But it was another officer that delivered the 1-2 punch,
Right.
which is what we're looking at right now. We kind of freeze framed on that delivered those illegal and excessive strikes to the face. That's right. I said it. We have it on live and direct camera. So now I can truly say it and stand on it. Right is right. Right is right. Wrong is wrong. I'm going to run it back just a little bit so we can hear exactly what her attorney is actually saying. Okay. So here we go.
If the second officer who delivered the 17 blows has already been reassigned, the first officer who delivered the punch that has now been confirmed by CMPD, which was first confirmed by the eyewitness, that officer should be suspended, as should the officer who delivered the 17 blows.
Police say Pierre punched an officer in the face and he hit back in self-defense as outlined in state law. Police say the scuffle shifted the camera off the officer's chest.
I want to make sure everybody understands that an officer can defend themselves. We included in our statement that the female struck the officer multiple times and that the strike that the officer delivered was in response to that aggression.
CMPD policy allows officers to use reasonable force to arrest suspects that are resisting.
I think what we need to see is a change to the policy that governs these compliance blows and when those are administered. And I think we need to have a refresher on the response to resistance policy that's clearly not being followed.
I asked Pierre's attorney if they plan to file a lawsuit. She says all options are on the table. She says that she is more focused on November 30th because that is when a judge will decide whether to publicly release the body camera footage of the arrest. Reporting from Charlotte, Casey Jones, Queen City News.
Okay, so that was some revealing stuff here. There's a lot for me to unpack here, but first I want to hear what you think about this latest news release from Queen City News.
Well, that really opened my eyes to the fact that she may not have even been smoking marijuana. She's saying that on the recording, on the cameras, that she's clearly saying holding up a cigarello, and she's saying, I bought this legally. So, because sometimes, people, they assume you're doing something. And it does seem sort of weird that they would see officers coming up and still be smoking weed. You know how we do in the hood. If you are bold,
do something.
Yeah, if you are bold enough to be smoking out at the bus stop or whatever, if you see one police car come by, you're gonna put it out. You know what I'm saying? Even if they come your direction or whatever. So, but I mean, officers to even be coming towards them and she's still smoking, that speaks volumes right there. She might not have even been doing anything wrong. Now, the fact that they saying that, and did you notice one time they said she struck him one time. Now they saying she struck the officer multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to use the type of verbiage to justify what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and trust me, then you're using the word self-defense. Okay. That's a gray area right there.
It's very,
what I'm saying?
It is,
what I'm saying? Because we talking about self-defense should be you defending yourself against somebody. Even if she did hit him, and that's the only thing right there. That's the thing. That's just where you get to stand your grounds and you get the self-defense and you get the I fear for my life, because nobody can tell you how to feel. You know what I'm saying?
You've been hanging around me too much. Go ahead on. I'll just let you take it. Go ahead.
Yeah, but
no, please continue. because that's exactly what I was going to break down.
Right. And so, it's just I don't know. It's like those compliance blows, like you said. I've seen people administering compliance blows. That's like, when you hitting them in that area where you trying to get them to just, put your hands behind your back or whatever. But like you said, that hit on her face looked so big. It looked like it might have been a few blows. You know what I'm saying? It don't look to me like just one blow to her face. But it's gonna be tough because CMPD is rocking with them. I feel like if it was black and white, CMPD would distance themselves from their officer and be like, "Hey, we not," because you know how politically correct people try to be nowadays. If they feel like the officer did something wrong, they would have definitely just said, "Hey, we suspending this officer. He was wrong." But CMPD is rocking with him. They, defending him. So, and I'm sure they got some of the best lawyers in the business. So it's going to be a tough case.
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence because I'm looking for Charlotte PD to come through with transparency and accountability. You are right. You have an excellent point as far as their police fraternity and everything. It is one of the best and so forth because they are there to protect the interest of the officer and their officer's livelihood. We understand what that is, and the whole implied immunity protections. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But let's talk about this, some key things that popped up in my view, master. Yes, first of all, the wording. Wording is everything. I'm gonna say that one more time. Phrasing, wording is everything. When it comes to media, we know how to get you up out of your seat. We know how to tug on your heartstrings. We know exactly how to even title something. That's why whenever you are right in the middle of watching something that catches your eye, that's why we call it clickbait, because what I titled it got your attention. But then you're trying to get to, okay, but where's the part that where you said something happened and then you come to realize you don't watch the video in vain. What you was expecting wasn't what was in the title. So, but here we give you exactly what's in the title. So we're going to go ahead and break it down. First of all, as a police officer or former police officer, civilian and military of many years, I have been trained and I have trained. We would never, ever train to go over and beyond what is called for to have what we call an effective arrest. Now, I see a lack of professionalism. A lack of professionalism. Police officers are, period, just like firefighters, just like EMTs, doctors, pilots, anybody that is in a profession, okay, we are held to a higher standard of restraint, okay? And these officers did not practice restraint. Referencing back to what you were saying about her being a smaller woman, even if she did try to wail on stuff like that, that's why it's called resisting. Okay, so resistance is there. Nobody is refuting resistance. How we got to that point, that's a whole nother ball of wax as well. Because if you have no legal right to put your hands upon my body, be a police officer or not, there will be a solid misunderstanding. And I'm a man. So, yes. I'm gonna go ahead and put a pin there. Okay. So the lack of professionalism. Now, if people say, well, because a lot of people would probably see this portion of our video and be like, oh, okay, Mr. Police Officer, former police officer, you let somebody come up to you and hit you. whenever you are in uniform, you have to remember you are in uniform. The public isn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes you the professional. I've had people to get up in my face, be talking so much, they spitting and going on. Technically, I can arrest them right then and there because why? Spit is considered assault.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, things like that. It's very, very situational. But whenever I go to make my arrest, and I have made arrests and so forth with compliance and resistors, okay, aggressive resistors, passive resistors, and all in between, there are ways to affect those arrests. Whenever this was introduced to me on Brother Brian's show, I said, well, one of the things that I noticed, I was like, it was like 4 or 5 officers around this young lady. I'm pretty sure about 4 or 5 of us could have turned her over and got control of her arms and affected the arrest. And I say, and even if I was there by myself or with an officer, like say for like that was you and me, and I know that 2 big guys on this little girl is probably going to look really bad. So, and she's sitting on her hands. Okay, so she's sitting on her hands. If you don't have the power to like just literally overpower her arms, taking them from up under her legs, you also have a collapsible baton that we give you. And you take that baton, you go in between the arm, and you literally wedge the arm from out underneath her body. You place that arm in handcuff and bring the other one around. Still, it will look far less aggressive, and you would have affected your arrest. Okay, but what happened? This officer in particular lost his professionalism, and he made it personal for whatever happened all the way up until that point, because now you're starting to get eyewitnesses and people are starting to call these officers out on their aggressive and excessive behavior. Like I said, I have love for Charlotte PD. I have friends in Charlotte PD. I have good relations with Charlotte PD, community officers, and the whole 9. But if you're wrong, you're wrong. And see, so not only are these 2 officers the face of, oh man, my goodness. Okay, we're running out of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to put a cap on this. I wish this young lady all the best. From what I was able to see, she deserves justice for an over-aggressive and excessive, abusive police officer that do not deserve to wear the badge. You go ahead and give us your summary on here, D.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think you're absolutely right, and what you were saying. You gotta, like you said, and one thing I want to pose to you: why do you think so many times all the training that officers go through, it leaves so quickly? The professionalism, and they revert back to the barbarianism or the just, and see, that's why we have so many racial incidents, because you can go through the police academy or whatever academy you want to. You can make all the right answers. You can be the best marksman. You can do all the classes right. You can even probably, I'm sure y'all probably have to take some kind of psychology classes. You can do all that right. But so many times we see when people are faced with game time decisions, so to speak,
right?
They revert back to, you know what I'm saying? They revert back to like what before they even got training, you know, because it looked like when those people started yelling at this guy, he was hitting that lady hard as he could. And then it seemed like once they started yelling at him, it's almost like he sort of snapped out of it, and he got up and he turned around, like, and then he looked like he was trying to get them to leave him alone. But it's like he flipped out for a minute, and he was like, "Oh, you put your hands on me? This is what," and like you said, officers are supposed to be held to a higher standard. So, you know.
Yeah. So to answer your question, and you actually answered it as you was asking me the question, it's called culture, not training. This is why whenever you see videos like this, people go, oh, we need more training. Oh, we need more training. No, you can't untrain culture.
True. True.
Okay. So, I know this is hot and heavy. I know, our blood is boiling and everything else. We are out of time. But guys, what do y'all think? Once again, we thank you. If this is your first time watching Elephant Exposed with us, hit that like, share, subscribe button for us. And we will keep on exposing these elephants, no matter where they are, no matter who they are and what they do. Me and Mr. D, we're going to talk about it, okay? In the meantime, y'all be blessed. And
we're back.
We are back. Yes, sir.